I call the meeting of the Austintown Township Trustees for June 10th at 6 p.m. in order. Would you please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Lynch?
Hold on for 1 second. I gotta get one more sheet. Go ahead and talk.
No, they didn't know. Yeah. They were already gone. So, you gotta get over the gas housing to find out. She said she had a furnace down for some reason, so we checked.
If I may, introduce the members of the boards in Austintown. Oh, on the far right, there's Jessica Rickard, who is the, are you the assistant leader or the mother of the place? She does all the work.
I think I'm marketing and technology director last time I checked.
That will.
Everything but efficiency.
Our park superintendent's next, Todd Shaver. Our fire chief, Andy Frost. Our police chief, Bob Gavalier. This is strange, you guys in uniform like this. It's scary. Our zoning inspector without a uniform is Darren Corelli. To the far right, our township administrator and our road superintendent, Mike Dockery. To my right here, trustee Jim Davis. To my left is trustee Doug McGlynn. And our young lady who runs really us, our fiscal officer, Mrs. Laura Wolf. And I am Ken Carano, trustee. A motion, please, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 28, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
It's always a pleasure. You notice the firemen are all here, I mean firefighters. We don't use that word, men or women anymore. Okay, they are all here today, and it is a very, very fine ceremony that we're going to have. We're going to have the oath of office given to Battalion Chief Tom O'Hara by our fiscal officer Laura Wolf. Battalion Chief, front and center. That's you.
I, Thomas O'Hara,
I, Thomas O'Hara,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Battalion Fire Chief
and will faithfully discharge the duties of Battalion Fire Chief
of the Austintown Fire Department.
of the Austintown Fire Department.
I further resolve
I further resolve
that I will serve the residents of Austintown
that I will serve the residents of Austintown
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
and will continue to do so
and will continue to do so
during my continuance as Battalion Fire Chief
during my continuance as Battalion Fire Chief
with the Austintown Fire
with the
Department.
Austintown Fire Department.
Chief Frost, would you like to, I have to make sure this is the young Chief Frost, because the older Chief Frost is in the courtroom.
So again, this is just, we've been able to do this a lot lately. And it's sad because we have guys that are retiring, that have been around a long time, like family. But as we grow, and as everybody retires, it's nice to be able to move guys who have just been so productive on this fire department up into leadership roles. And that's what we have with Tom. Again, I couldn't ask for a better person. He has really excelled in training for us, and he takes training to a whole new level, and that's what really has progressed him to no end. He has the respect of everybody in this room and the ones that are, and again, that's what we look for in a leader, is the respect of the men and women who are under him. And again, Tom has that, has his shoulders above everyone. So it's just an honor to be able to promote him. Again, you know, I'll be leaving soon, and it's nice to know that there's folks like Tom that's going to be able to come up and move into these spots. So it's a great day for the fire department.
Tom, you going to introduce anyone here?
My parents, Tom and Carolyn, my wife Jennifer, my daughter Elizabeth, and her boyfriend Michael, and the rest of the fellows from the fire department.
That's fantastic. What was standing there? I'm a teacher by nature, okay? Battalion chief. What is a battalion chief?
So our rank is lieutenant, captain, battalion chief, assistant chief, and fire chief. So a battalion chief takes either a company or task on over and above everyone else. So again, what we've asked Tom to do, we've asked him to step up and be in charge of all of our training. He's an instructor through the vocational school and just does an incredible job. He actually runs the high school program out there, which is no easy task to try and get the high school students riled up and get them through. But Tom is able to get these guys through that program and has been extremely successful when most programs aren't successful at all of that. So again, that's his forte. And we've also asked him to, take on more and more people. We take on more roles. OSHA and ISO ask us to do more and more things. So we've also asked Tom to help develop personnel. So again, we have more officers trainings and everything that we've done, so Tom is going to step up with that. So he's going to be training and employee development.
Tom, I'll be the first. Congratulations, but you've earned it. This is the beautiful thing about the fire department. Those people who are being promoted have earned their rank. They're well received by the people that they are the administrators of, and the department itself is just outstanding, and it's well known how well prepared everybody is and how educated all of you are in firefighting throughout the county, throughout the state. Good luck.
I've known your family for a long time, especially those two back there. I didn't know that, but congratulations. It's an honor, well received.
I think it's kind of ironic that we could have done this a couple of weeks ago when we swore everybody else in, but Tom and Tim were over there. They were actually they were training. They were at a seminar learning so that they could bring it back and share it with the guys. So I'm glad that we got to finally do this officially. And just, as Andy said, you have the respect of the men and women of the fire department. And more than anything, like I said at that meeting, where those guys got sworn in, was that if you don't have the respect of the men and women, you can be whatever rank you want to be, and ain't nobody gonna listen to you. But these guys, I know darn well that they'll listen to you, and they'd follow you anywhere because you've earned that. And so it's good to see a guy like you in this position. You're doing a great job. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Laura? You already gave your oath.
If I could right now, we'd like, is Elizabeth going to get Elizabeth to come up? We're going to do what we call a badging ceremony, for those of you that don't know. It's just a tradition in the fire service to be badged with your new badge, and if we can do it with family members, we love it. And this is his daughter.
Okay, let's pose too. He's taking a picture.
So Tom, would you remove yours?
Stand this way.
Hey,
anyways, more importantly, angle this way. JT's for the town clerk. Darren is just the zoning inspector. Just because this is going to be in the paper. Okay, well, there you go,
Later on for
JT.
the pictures.
Ouch. I'm Irish. It is not nearly as easy as a little tree. Granny would have got it.
There we go.
And as we do in a lot of our oath takings and so on, we will now take a break. And those of you congratulate Tom, and then you can leave without having to listen to us for the next hour. Okay? Thank you.
You guys that long, that I remember talking to
I believe spinning thing about that's why I can't get it.
Here, guys. See you later.
If we're back on, I didn't want to do this before the ceremony because the ceremony is so happy. I would like to take a moment of silence for a young man, and I call him a young man, who passed away this last week, who was just, for the last 12 years, an outstanding individual, not only as a coach, but as a teacher and just a human being. And what I'd like to do is call on Doug here, who had the wise information 12 years ago to hire him as the football coach, Phil Amarillo.
I would just like to say that, you know, when you meet Phil and you talk to Phil, he's such a class gentleman, and I knew the first time I met him that he was going to click with me, because he's a person who believes in what he says. He works hard at things, and hiring him 12 years ago was probably one of my better hires. I will say that. Phil has changed the culture of the football program at Fitch High School. He's done a great job with it. He's made the kids realize that school and students are what you are first, and athletes are what you are second. And there are a number of times when Phil and I would sit down and talk and look at some of the kids who needed help, and he would say they're not practicing, take them to tutoring. They need tutoring instead. That's the kind of person he was. He wasn't worried about his own accolades. He was worried about how players and the kids performed in the classroom, and if he could get them into college. And he's had so many athletes go into college that he's helped. And so many of them will be back here shortly, probably for a service, or a memorial service, when we find out a little more details. But again, great man, great person. It's a shame that the Lord takes the great ones. But there's always that plan, as my wife's Uncle Johnny always said. There's a plan, you don't know the plan. Because if you knew the plan, you try to change it. And again, Phil will be missed by all, without a doubt. He just told me last week I needed to slow down when we talked last Monday, so I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I need to slow down. A man of wise, very wise, great role model. You can't find anybody better than him out there in the coaching ranks. Jimmy missed.
You know, I've followed quite a bit on Facebook because social media is different players posting things. And one of the sayings that I noticed, that I just read over and over in the past day, is that Phil had a saying that character is what you do when no one else is looking. And I've seen so many of his players posting that. And you heard Doug talk about, you know, football was never first with Phil Anarella. I think there were a lot of men made by Phil Anarella. He didn't make football players, he made men out of a lot of young kids that we had at Austintown Fitch. I think for 12 years, the Austintown local school district was beneficial to have that man work as the head coach because he touched a lot of lives. I got to interact with him just a couple of times, but every time you'd see him, he was always welcoming, always a great guy to just say hello to. And he certainly will be missed by our school district. And it's unfortunate that he couldn't have continued to teach and touch the lives that he did.
Well, on behalf of the trustees and Lauren, our fiscal officer, and all of Austintown, we're going to take a moment of silence for Phil Anarella, not in his death, but with the fantastic life that he had and the inspiration that he could be for others. So if you would please, a moment of silence for Phil Anarella. I thank you so very much. Now we'll continue on. Mike, road department.
Just a comment as to, not next meeting, but our first meeting in July, since I won't be at the next meeting. At the next meeting, we will have our road resurfacing bids open at that time. Between now and then, the legal notices will be in the paper. And then if those bids, if once the engineering consultant and myself have a chance to review them, if there's not a problem, I'll probably ask for a special meeting right after that for you to approve the best bid so that we can get on the schedule so we can try to get our roads resurfaced as early as possible this year.
How about the police department?
The only thing I have to add is this afternoon at 2:30, we had a presentation of the Derek car that Greg Greenwood donated to the police department. And, you know, what can you say about Greenwood, Chevy, and Greg giving to the zoning, park, fire, police departments, helping us out, plus the high school and the schools in the area here.
I don't know who designed the painting on that car, but we'll, if the Derek car comes around, you'll know it's the Derek car.
The second thing I wanted to talk about is Detective Lieutenant Jeff Sullivan retired from the police department a couple weeks ago, and Jeff was a great officer. I wish we had 10 more. We probably wouldn't have any crime in Austintown. He 24/7. He ran a task force for many years, a drug task force. Very knowledgeable in drug enforcement. belong to a lot of different agencies in associations with the drugs. We spoke a lot around the area, different mental health agencies on the subject of drugs and the effects in the area here. And, you know, again, I wish them the best of luck.
That is the truth, Bill. There was a young man, he was in school when I was teaching, but the thing is, he was so dedicated to his work, and he any kind of training whatsoever that dealt with it, he'd go and get trained, and he could train others. But the best thing about Jeff was that dry humor. You never knew whether he was joking or not, and then he scored you because, well, God bless him. I always say this: retirement isn't what it's made out to be. It's a heck of a lot better. Let me tell you. Okay, over the fire department.
I wasn't here at the last meeting, and I know the guys all touched on it, but I just wanted to publicly thank the Eagles for their donation. I know they gave to us and the police department, the parks department. Again, just every year, they've been over backwards for us, and they're always giving money when they can, and just anything that we need, we know we can go to them. So I just want to say thank you to them.
Sure. Fantastic. Okay, let me take out the big pad here. And we're ready now for the zoning department. What's going on there?
Before we do the business resolutions, I just want to take an opportunity to thank Lieutenant Sullivan, because the majority of my 11 years here, he helped me with numerous zoning issues that kind of parallel with law enforcement issues. And he was a great help to our office, and we'll miss that level of experience and dedication that he provided in our office. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I think that think of us not having Jeff Sullivan on a day-to-day basis, that I can pick up a phone call and we shoot an email and say, hey, I got a problem, you need help me. But anyways, I would ask the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Revised Code 505.87, Aspen Drive, vacant lot, high grass and weeds. 3701 Berkeley Road, 3843 Berkeley Road, high grass and weeds. 146 and 305 Denoff Drive, high grass and weeds. 131 North Edgehill Avenue, high grass and weeds. 135 Elm Trace Drive, high grass and weeds, debris, and there's a above ground swimming pool that needs to be maintained. Lot 575 Kirkwood Drive, high grass and weeds. That's a parking lot that goes into the back of Wedgewood Lane. 4713 Kirk Road, donation drop-off box. We've had some problems with that. That is behind they either need to put another one there or this is too away. 4317 Kirk Road, 2918 Kirkhaven Drive, high grass and weeds. Lot number 64 and 65 Mahoning Avenue, former Scoopers, and 4 lots on Mahoning Avenue, former Country Gardens, high grass and weeds. 1515 Maple Crest Drive, high grass and weeds. Also, we're going to have the road department take a look. There's got to be a trench drain by the garage because the driveway is flooded. This house has probably been vacant for about 6 weeks. 1204 South Meeting Road, high grass and weeds at the west rear property line. 192 South Lamar Avenue, tree branches throughout the yard and public right of way. 4661 Nottingham Avenue, high grass and weeds. 8 North Raccoon Road, high grass and weeds at the southwest section of the lot. That's the portion of the lot that fronts Northwest Boulevard. 1741 South Raccoon Road, high grass and weeds at the southerly rear of the property. 4942 Signature Circle, high grass and weeds. 2260 Sprucewood Court, high grass and weeds in the rear yard. 5619 Vassar Avenue, high grass and weeds. 1238 Victory Hill Lane, high grass and weeds. 5616 Yorktown Lane, high grass and weeds. And going back to the resolution, something I've never asked the board to do before, but I'm asking the Board of Trustees to declare the Mahoning Avenue Bridge, which is the jurisdiction of ODOT, for high grass and weeds in the the board is aware, that bridge was dedicated last year for the veterans groups. And it's just a mess, and we did email ODOT, and they did cut the right of way, but, I mean, they didn't do anything with the weeds along the curbs, and it's just a total disgrace to have the American flag there, and have that dedicated to veterans groups, and have it in the shape that it's in. So I'm asking this board to declare, hopefully, the state will go out there and do what they need to do, and if not, then we're gonna have to do it, and we may not be able to recoup our funds, but I think we owe that to the veterans groups who it's dedicated to.
I think that's a really good idea. I'll have a phone calls on that. Very good. Help that out as soon as, I agree with you.
You know, the irony, all those years that we were trustees, they constantly do not cut that. Although when we call them, they normally get out there eventually. They have not done that.
Yeah, they got out there, they did cut, but they did no trimming, it's just a mess.
I mean, that's the welcome, and that's why they put the flags on that bridge, because that's the welcome to Austintown, and it looks terrible. Okay, motion please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
And then I'd ask the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all the following criteria. 3 model years and older, apparently inoperable, incidentally damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: wheels, tires, engine, or transmission, including following vehicles, public nuisance under Ohio Bicycle 505.875, or the removal of the junk vehicle in 14 days after notice is served as a property. 4540 Jotham Drive, an inoperable red vehicle with an expired license plate GWS 5765, parked in an exposed manner of property. This house is vacant.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
And that's all I have for the board.
That's very good. Thank you so very much. Okay, now the park department. How are things going in the park?
Our farmer's market started today, so it'll run through today through October, every Monday, 5 to 8:30. And then on Tuesdays, we have our summer concert series from 7 to 8:30. I invite the public to come out on Mondays and Tuesdays to enjoy both of these events. That's all I have.
How does the flag, the flag, come on, somebody. The kite. I used to remember those things. You got a lot of publicity on it, the kite thing. A lot of people there?
We had over 300 kites.
Is that right?
We actually kind of ran out of kites.
Oh.
It seems to get bigger every year.
Over to the senior center, Jessica.
We started a new activity at the center last week. We're going to start karaoke. So that should be fun. We tried it out Thursday morning, and they really seemed to like it. None of them sang a solo by themselves, but they kind of sang table-wise, and they were dancing and all of that. So I think it's going to be really well received. We're going to try it maybe like Tuesdays in the afternoon and Thursdays in the morning, maybe like a half an hour or something like that. They really seem to like it. We were playing a lot of oldies music. So right now I'm looking for the cheapest program that will let us have all of the songs they want, but won't, be costing an arm and a leg. Some of them are expensive if we're going to be doing it twice a week. But that should be fun. And we're going to be organizing a couple of trips now that we don't have the car cruises at the center. We're going to look and see if we can take a couple of trips to the park for the concerts on Tuesday, maybe a trip to the farmer's market with the seniors in the evening. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Going down to our fiscal officer, anything other than the need for this motion?
No, I just want to say we're almost halfway through the year already, and so I have to take a new look at the budgets and make sure everybody's staying where they need to be.
We have a motion to accept the May report submitted to the board for review, the fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kraft?
Capta?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, under new business, we have a motion to approve AGE and the July 4th committee as volunteers who are performing a service for the township or at the township's request pursuant to section 2B4 of the township's insurance policy with OTARFA or TARMA.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Creon?
Yes. And we will be talking about the 4th of July shortly. Okay. Now is the time for the public response. Either way, first, if anyone would like to speak to us off camera, we'll turn off the camera. You can speak to us. Seeing no one, is there anyone here who would like to speak on camera to us? Who would go first? Eric, go ahead. You go first, and then Sam will come.
Eric Newton, 5741 Northwest Boulevard. I come to a lot of meetings and I express my opinion a lot of times. And I've come to learn, I see other people express their opinion, and most of the time it's negative. Last trustees meeting, I wanted to compliment Chief Cavalier, but he's a quiet man when it comes. So I have to be careful. But he's done a wonderful job with this levy, and I think he should get some acknowledgement. And Saturday, I spent the day at the park. Got right by your office, and Stacy Pavilion taught. And several people from out of town were there. And I overheard some conversation about how wonderful the pavilion was. In the park. The splash pool was gone. Kids were there. There was a couple holding hands, a couple people picking. So it's a jewel. But we don't hear too much about the good part about it. You may hear about the trash that was there cleaned up last year and things like that. Just want to recognize the superintendents and the police chief and zoning. It's just a miracle that you got enough gas in my car to go all those places. And fire, they saved my life, so I can't say nothing bad about them. So I just want to thank the committees for their effort and spending the taxpayers' money right. That's all.
Thank you, Eric. You'll be the chairman of the next levy. Sam? Yeah.
Sam Swan, 4492 Ball Road. I just want to thank everybody for everything they did for Memorial Day activities in our parade, all the department heads, road department, park department, our police chief and fire chief, and everybody involved with it, and the trustees. It went over great. Our speaker was awesome this year.
Fantastic.
Sergeant First Class McGinnis, Kimberly. And I'd just like to thank everybody here, and I congratulate Mr. O'Hara on his promotion, and looking forward to the 4th, and I'll be coming to everybody's help for our 911 ceremony. So thanks a lot, and God bless all of you. Thanks.
Thanks. Anyone else like to speak? Okay, thank you. Now we'll move over to remarks from the board members. Laura, would you have anything special on your agenda?
I do not.
Okay. Doug?
I'd just like to thank Sam for all our work you do.
He actually had a veterans meeting today.
That's right.
That was my first actual Memorial Day parade to walk in and participate in. And we got Ken, we made it all the way. It wasn't hot, which was great. That helped things out, but it's amazing seeing all those people who are out there just, you know, in respect to our veterans and providing them with the support. And a number of veterans who were there, large group of veterans. And just like to thank Sam and the group for putting on that parade, because as I said, it's the first one I participated in, and I was very impressed with everything. I'd like to also thank Jeff Solik for his time that he put into the department. Known Jeff for a long time, and he does have a very dry sense of humor. Sometimes you don't get it the first time, but when you walk away, you shake your head and say, I think he just told me maybe. Told me off, maybe. He has a different way of doing that. Gavin knows that. Quiet man with a gun over there. Also, the family, Phil Amaro's family, again, our hearts go out to him and wish them the best, and hopefully there's something we can do for him in the near future and their family. That's it.
Okay. Go ahead, Joe.
Just a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, I think there are some criminals celebrating to find out that Lieutenant Solik is retired, because that was a man that if you got on the wrong side of the law, you better hope to God Jeff Solik was not the arresting officer, because he would do everything he could to make sure you were put away and put away for good. Because the crimes that Jeff dealt with were not, they were not simple traffic tickets. As you heard the chief say, he was the head of the drug task force. I think that if you would have asked a lot of people, they would have probably thought he'd have been the next police chief in Austintown. That's how well respected Jeff was by police chiefs throughout this area, by individuals throughout this area. He was unbelievable. Ken talked about his sense of humor. I can tell you, I had the opportunity to testify a couple of times at some different hearings, and Jeff had a way of getting his point across. And it was, there were times that I just sat back and laughed. He had quite the sense of humor. Some of it probably shouldn't be repeated, so I won't tell those stories on camera, but anybody who wants to hear some good ones, I'll tell them off camera. Nothing that we could publish in the Vindicator or the Town Crier, though. There were some funny moments of Jeff testifying. It was unbelievable. It was a good time. I got to tell you, I'm going to miss Jeff. As you heard Darren say, it was always good to know that even working in law enforcement, there were many a times that I was working for another department, but I would call Jeff because you respected him that much that you knew if you had a question that you couldn't find the answer to, he had that knowledge. And that was because, as you heard Ken talk about his education, Jeff went to the FBI Academy. Any opportunity Lieutenant Solik had to better himself, and the reason he bettered himself was to better the Austintown Police Department and the Austintown community, he took that opportunity. So it was always great to know that you could pick up the phone and call Lieutenant Solik, and 95% of the time he had the answer you were looking for. So I will tell you that he will be missed. Good luck to Jeff and whatever he does from this point forward in his retirement. We had the opportunity today to go to Greenwood Chevrolet, as Chief Cavalier said. For those that weren't there, I'd like to take an opportunity to just reiterate some of my remarks from that dare car presentation. 6 years ago, or I should say even way before that, 2001, Greenwood Chevrolet donated the very first dare car to the Austintown Dare program. And about 6 years ago, that car finally wore out. We needed a new dare car. And Greg Greenwood was so very kind to donate a car to this program 6-7 years ago. And Chief Cavalier called me in the beginning of March and said, Jim, we need some cars for the police department. Would you mind calling Greenwood Chevrolet? And one of the things that we knew we needed to do was we needed to get a new dare car. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I have no hesitation in asking for donations or asking for some sort of support. But in this situation, we weren't asking for that. We weren't asking for anything from Greenwood Chevrolet. We just simply wanted to replace our dare car and replace the detective's car. And also, we had to get a new Chevy Cruze for our zoning office. The current lease had run out. So I called Chris at Greenwood Chevrolet. I said, Chris, well, this is what we need. And I said, well, one of the cars that we need replaced, I said, it's a very touchy situation because it's the car that was donated to the DARE program. And he said, okay. He says, well, what are you looking for? I said, well, listen, we don't want to do anything crazy. I said, we want to stay reasonable. Find us like maybe a deal on a Traverse, find us maybe a Trax, an Equinox, whatever you think, look into, let me know. So lo and behold, a couple hours later, I get a phone call from Chris Davis. He says, JD, he says, what do you think about a Chevy Camaro? I said, Chris, I said, listen, we don't need a Chevy Camaro or anything. I said, we don't need anything extravagant like that. I said, we got to save some money here, bud. So whatever you can find me. He says, oh no. He said, Mr. Greenwood wants to be a part of the DARE program again. And I said, well, Chris, that's not why we called. So I picked up the phone and I called Greg Greenwood. And I said, Greg, that's not why we called you. And he said, no, Jim, I want to do it. He says, I want to continue to be a part of this DARE program. I want to continue to be a part of educating the youth about, the problems with drug abuse. And he says, I want to be a part of this. And I said, okay. I said, I'm okay with that then. So I said, I called the chief and I said, hey, you got to go down there. They got a Camaro. Make sure the guys can fit in it and check this stuff out. I said, chief and I talked about a bigger vehicle. Well, they went down, and of course, it's like two kids at a candy store when you take those two police officers down there and show them a Camaro. They said, we'll take the Camaro. So lo and behold, we've got a beautiful, brand new 2018 Chevy Camaro that has the American flag logo all down the side of it. It has the DARE logos all the way around it. And proudly across the back window, it says Greenwood Chevrolet Trust Driven with the Austintown logo. One of the comments I made today about Greg Greenwood at this presentation is a lot of people, when you drive by Falcon Stadium and you see Greenwood Chevrolet Falcon Stadium, Greg Greenwood paid $380,000 to have his name put on the side of that school and on the field and have it called Greenwood Chevrolet Falcon Stadium. He has also purchased a pavilion there that is a concession stand. And, he's donated this DARE car. But a lot of people, if you talk to them, they say, well, yeah, but he makes all that back. He makes that back. That's advertising for him. Here's the problem with this, folks, and this is the negativity that I don't like in hearing that. Greenwood Chevrolet would still sell as many cars today as they do whether or not he put his name on the side of that stadium, whether or not he donates that car to the police department. Greg Greenwood doesn't need to do that to sell cars. He runs a great dealership. He treats people like family. He has a great reputation. He takes care of people when they have issues with their car. He makes you feel like a great individual when you walk in there. There's never a time I've never seen him greet a guest or not say hello to somebody when you walk in there. He doesn't do that because he has to sell cars. He does that because he wants to be a part of the Austintown community. He's grateful for the community that has supported him and has bought cars off of him, so yes, he gives back. We are very fortunate to have Greg Greenwood at Greenwood Chevrolet in the Austintown community to do that for our DARE program. And it's not just for our police department so that they have a nice car running around it. It's for the youth. It's for those kids that we want to impress upon them the problems with drug abuse, alcohol abuse, tobacco abuse. And when these guys pull up and they catch the attention of those youth, by them seeing that car pull up, that you can't put a price on if you could change the lives and put those kids in the right direction. So on behalf of the board here, on behalf of our police department, I just can't say thank you enough to Greg Greenwood and Greenwood Chevrolet and the entire Greenwood family for their donation to our DARE program. So thank you to Greg for that. Ken alluded to it, so I might as well talk about it because we are getting closer to the 4th of July. We have a huge, jam-packed week of events for you to be a part of and come and just have a great time. Sunday, June 30th, is the Party in the Plaza. Hollywood Gaming, once again, has stepped up to be the official sponsor of the event, along with WFMJ. We're going to have a couple more sponsors coming along as we get closer, and you'll hear me talk about those sponsors, but those are two of the big ones, folks, that they will help put on this party in the plaza. It gets better and better every year. Everybody says, oh, how are you going to outdo yourself this year? I think that is a challenge every year to the fireworks committee, and the 4th of July committee to try to one-up ourselves every year. So this year we've got a couple tricks up our sleeve, and we also have one heck of an entertainer coming into play. He opened for Florida Georgia Line at Youngstown State University last year. The one and only country music star Chris Higby is going to play for us. If you have not seen Chris, he plays a mean fiddle. He plays a lot of original songs. He's got about 5 or 6 albums out. But he also plays old country, and when I say old country, it's the country that my mom and dad used to listen to when I grew up. But he also plays new and modern country as well, and a lot of things in between. He is so fun and entertaining. We hope you can come out and check him out. Everything kicks off at 5 o'clock at the party in the plaza. There's going to be inflatables for the kids. There'll be pony rides, all kinds of different types of entertainment. The dare car that we talked about, as well as some fire trucks, will be on display for you to check out. The State Highway Patrol will be there. We're going to have all kinds of different things going on. Molnar's concessions, along with a bunch of other vendors, will be there selling food. So bring your appetite. And one of the things this year, we're going to have a beer tent. So anybody that would like to partake in a little alcoholic beverage may do that as well. What goes better with country music than an ice cold beer, right? So come on out and check it out and be a part of that. Right now, for those that are interested, you're crazy, you jump out of planes, Eric. So if you like challenges, the Buffalo Wild Wings Blazing Wing Challenge will also be that day. Nathan's Hot Dogs has nothing on us, as we put that on every year as part of the fireworks event. It is going to take place at the fireworks event at 7:30. Buffalo Wild Wings will give you a plate of 12 blazing wings. Now those, for those of you that don't know, those are the hottest wings they serve. And the first person to eat 12 of those wings will win a really great prize package. Buffalo Wild Wings has not told me what it is yet, but they said they are going above and beyond this year, because we told them that we wanted to make this a year that we really made something out of it. So they said, well, we're going to put together one heck of a prize package for our winner. So Eric, if you want to eat some hot wings and do something really crazy, come on out. But we hope to see everybody at the fireworks. The following Monday, you heard Todd talk about the Monday markets. Well, that Monday's market is going to be a special Monday's market, farmer's market out at the park. That it takes place from 5 until 8:30. They will have a salute to the troops. Shannon Roy has got all kinds of fun events planned out there that day. That will be a patriotic salute. So come out and check that out. Then on Tuesday, along with the park, Todd's concert series out there at the park, we have the Canfield Community Concert Band. If you have not seen them, please take an opportunity to do so. This is a concert band that plays patriotic music. It is a great hour and a half of entertainment. It will be from 7 to 8:30, and they will be performing that day, not only as the Canfield Community Concert Band, but they are going to also have our Austintown Choir sing along with them for some of their songs. So that will be a really, really nice event for you to see. That is on Tuesday, so please come out for that. Then, on the 4th of July, which is Thursday, we hope that you can all be at the flag raising ceremony, an ecumenical service. It is a nice ceremony. It's an opportunity as well to get to meet with the Historical Society and walk through the log cabin. If you have not done that, this is a great opportunity to do so. And it's actually pretty cool, because one of the things that I like to do every year, and I take Gabby with me from time to time is we go up in the top floor of the log cabin there, and they have all the old yearbooks. And so you get to look through the yearbooks. So I always make sure I pull down the class of 95, and I show it to Gabby, my picture in the school yearbook. But they always have Danishes afterwards, coffee and juice as well. But Joyce Pogany, it's a half-hour ceremony. Take that half hour out of your morning and go there because they always pick a minister from one of the surrounding churches for it. But they always find some unique way to give a speech. One of my favorites was just, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, Brad. And I apologize, I can't remember his last name. Brewster. I'm sorry?
Brad Brewster.
Is that his last name? He gave a speech and he had an old American flag that he talked about. And just the history that he gave behind that flag. It's a really great ceremony, and then they have the raising of the flag there as well that day. It is so much fun, folks. You need to be a part of that. Bruce Shepis has planned another huge 4th of July parade. If you have not got your flyers yet, if you have not registered for the parade, the deadline for that is June the 10th. Now, I say that with an asterisk. I say that with an asterisk because I know you guys will probably put something in the paper. Do not worry if you are not registered by June the 10th. That is when we like to try to have things in. However, we will take registrations after June the 10th. So if you're just reading it in the paper, call Township Hall here, 792-8584. Or for the sake of the media who is here, I will get you Bruce's number as well, so that we can put that out there. It is 330-506-2570. That's Bruce Shepis, who is the chairman of the 4th of July Parade. He will get you out a registration form so that you can be a part of our 4th of July Parade. Now, this year's theme is Austintown, how sweet it is. You may be asking why, how sweet it is. Jim Molnar from Molnar's Concession Stand has celebrated 50 years in the concession business. That's 50 years of the sweetest sweet rolls. Those cinnamon rolls are out of this world. Now, I heard there's going to be a concession trailer go down the parade route. I'm not saying he's throwing cinnamon rolls, but I heard it might be hot dogs. So I'm interested to see what he throws. I don't think it's going to be candy folks. But you can come to the fireworks and get your cinnamon roll, and you can see Jim Molnar in the 4th of July parade as he's going to be the chairman. So call Bruce, get registered, be a part of the 4th of July parade. That starts at 12 o'clock noon on the 4th of July. So we hope to see everybody there. It's not too late to be a part of it. Please sign up. That's all I got.
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, get ready for the 4th of July. Organizations, individuals, whatever. The parade, obviously, it's been here for years. And that sunrise ceremony, but that in the park with the fireworks at 10 o'clock is something that we do for the entire county. In my words today, all I want to talk about is some of the serious part of the things that are happening. You know we have a problem in Mahoney County with the water. We've had a lot of rain. I was lucky enough to go to a little vacation in Florida. Those people are begging for water. And around here, that's all we have is water. It is because the ground is so saturated with water, every time it rains, we get all kind of pondage. 20 years ago, we had a problem here in Austintown that was unbelievable. I mean, floods constantly. Because of the dutiful work of the people that are involved, including a lot of citizens, we put on a lot of retention ponds and so on. And although the water obviously was flooding our roads, and there were a lot of ponds in front of the different houses, we also found out which pipes were a little plugged up and so on. In truth, I believe we only had 3 complaints of any water going into housing. Now, if there were more, they didn't call us about it, and so on. But that was, and we had, according to the Cleveland weather thing, we had more rain than the other communities that really were having a bad problem. So knock on wood, what happened 20 years ago is coming back to bless us rather than to haunt us. Now the roads. You heard our road superintendent and our administrator talk about the fact that we're bidding out the roads. And the list will go out as to what roads are going to be paved. Your trustees are ready with their phones because we're going to get a lot of phone calls. The unfortunate part of Austintown is, and I say this all the time with due respect to the colleagues that were here before me, this township blew up in the 1960s. Unfortunately, a lot of the housing complexes and things that had there, they didn't spend the money the way they should have with the base and so on of our roads. The other problem is we have so many different roads around here, some of which are really used by heavy equipment, including school buses and so on. So in many cases, they have been redone maybe in the last 10 years, where people who have lived here for 40 years have not seen their roads done. What we do is very serious. We look at all the roads in Austintown, all the roads in Austintown, and get graded. And what we do is we take the worst of them, especially those that are needed for transportation, especially for our students and so on, and businesses, and safety. Well, those are the ones that get our first look. And then we try to do as many more that we can do that have not been done before. Some of you will be upset, and we understand that. And our phones are open to call us about it. But the understanding, the one word that I always love to tell people, the one statement, when I was a trustee 22 years ago, it cost us roughly around $10,000 to $12,000 a mile to repave roads. Now it costs you $115,000 to do the same roads. So we have to be very, very careful as to how we spend the money. But everything else is there. But be ready for the 4th of July. Be ready. If you didn't, like Jim says, if you haven't gotten your invitation and you have a group that wants to be in a parade, come on, join us. You just call the township hall, they'll take care of it, getting the word out to Bruce Shepard and so on, and all those other programs. So that is the end of mine, so a motion is needed to recess to executive session for the following, to consider to the appointment, employment, or discipline of compensation of public employees, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation and other terms. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlinch?
Yes.
Mr. Crown?
Yes.
In association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.